This episode of The Crazy 10 or Less is sponsored by Forbidden, coming to Indiegogo. Welcome to The Craze in 10 or Less. This is the show where I give it to you in 10 minutes or under. And if I don't, did you really think I would? Anyway, KB Toys. What was KB? What was its impact in toys and on geeks like me? That's the topic of the day. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Stop acting up. Let's get it. So, reason why I decided to talk about KB Toys is because the previous episode I talked about my collection of Warriors of Virtue action figures and the Ruse. And I happened to notice that on each of the action figures, it had the price tag sticker with the with KB on it, and it brought back memories. So, before I talk about my experience, because this is not a historical perspective on KBs, if you were looking for me to take you down a trip on history, you got the wrong person. That ain't me. So, but I want to talk about KB. So first, I'm just going to give you what we find on the internet about who KB was and the whole bit. So KB Toys, also known as KB Toys, was an American chain of mall-based retail stores. Malls. Remember the malls? I used to love going to malls. The old days. Anyway, the company was founded in 1922 as Kaufman Brothers, a wholesale candy store. Candies and toys. What more can you ask for? The company opened a wholesale toy store in 1946 and ended its candy wholesale 2 years later to focus entirely on the toy industry. Now, the reason for that.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I told you I was going to give you any historical perspective, but I did some research. And the reason for that they went from candies to toys is because the price of sugar went up because of the war and imports. And so it was no longer profitable to sell wholesale candy. So they started going to toys because all the soldiers came back and commingled with their significant others, and babies were being produced. And babies needed to play with toys. And what better than the G.I. Joe, Kung Fu Grip, Action Jackson, Transformers, whatever.
What did you say?
So, retail sales began in the 70s under the name K-B Toy and Hobby. In 1999, the company operated 1,324 stores across the United States and was the second largest toy retailer in the U.S. But it later declared bankruptcy in both 2004 and 2008 before going out of business on February 9th, 2009. I take my hat off, but I got my headset on, and let's give a moment of silence. All right, that's enough. The company operated 461 stores at the time of its closure. International retailer Toys R Us acquired the remains of KB Toys, consisting mainly of its website, trademarks, and intellectual property rights. Toys R Us were like vultures in the desert of Conan, waiting for him to just drop so they can start picking at his carcass. That's what Toys R Us was. Strategic Marks, a company that buys and revives defunct brands, purchased the brand in 2016 and planned to open new stores under the name beginning in 2019. Plans for this revival, however, fell through due to lack of funding. So KBs. I don't know if you remember the commercial, but roll it.
Where are you gonna find all the hottest toys? On the planet Mars? No! On a mountaintop? you shop, you'll see all the latest toys to choose from. Hot, we got a KB.
Can't find that popular new toy? If it's hot, then KB's got it. And you'll find a big selection of the hottest toy hits every day at all of our convenient locations.
All the latest toys to choose from. Hot, we got a KB.
So that was the commercial. And for you youngins out there, KB's was significant for many reasons. Number one, if you were a mall connoisseur, what is a mall connoisseur? Somebody that goes to the mall all the time to connoisseur. Anyway, so if you went to the mall all the time, you didn't want to leave the mall to go to a toy store. Because 9 times out of 10, Toys R Us were standalone. They had their own 4 walls off-site. But when you ran into the mall, there was a KB. And you had a couple bucks in your pocket. You're like, I wonder if they have the new Spawn series. I was a big Spawn collector back then. So I'd run over. So the secret magic to KB was they buy a lot of, it's almost like Marshall's off price, right? They buy the trailer full of out of circulation toys or toys that, you know, that the manufacturers had oversupply of and had nothing to know what to go with it. So they go and they buy it. And so they put all of that extra surplus at the front of the stores, marked down. So you see those prices, you're like, wow, those prices are unbelievable. So now when you go further into the stores, you'll see some of the prices that are just as high as Toys R Us. But that's how they get you, right? They reel you in, right? Little by little. So I would comp shop. There was a time where I had a sickness. I had a disease. 3 places that you'd find me. Toys R Us, KB, and eBay. Ooh, did I have a sickness? I knew I had a sickness when I used to sneak my purchases into the house. Or bring them in when my significant other wasn't there. And try to assimilate or get them into my collection without making it obvious that something new is in the collection. I had a problem. So, don't have that problem anymore. But, so, I'd go to Toys R Us, and there'd be a Spawn figure for $9.99. So, I'd rush over to KB, and it'd be there for $5.99. Let's see. $5.99? $9.99. Which one would you get? Of course, I'm going to pick up my Spawn figure for $5.99 and then go over to Pretzel Twist and get me a Dwiener Schnitzel, a pretzel hot dog schnitzel, and some lemonade. Lemonade! A cool, refreshing drink. And I enjoy my mall experience. So, I'd always stop at KB first. Right? I used to stop at Toys R Us first just to take photos of the prices and then run over to KB's and see if I'm going to save money. So that was why I chose KB over Toys R Us. Number one, because you'd always get it at a lower price, at least the figures that I wanted. Sometimes they'd be just as aggressive. Like the Star Wars figures, you know, they were just as competitive in the same range as Toys R Us. And that very seldom, on few occasions, you'll find higher prices at KB's. But it was significant because the mall was a one-stop shop experience. If you needed to go to the mall, want to get a pair of sneakers, if you were a toy collector, you go to KB's, and then you go to GameStop. If you were a gamer, right? You had it all there. You had the food court, you had the apparel section, you had your toy section, you had your gaming section. And one of the big misses in the malls were comic shops. Not too many malls had comic book shops, so you had to go off-site to find a comic book shop. But imagine the trifecta. All right, we're back. So imagine you went to a mall and you had a comic book shop, a GameStop, and a KB. What? That's awesome. So, but the purpose of KB was really you got amazing deals from KB, but they suffered just like everybody else suffered. And, you know, Toys R Us, when I hear their name, I itch because they were the reasons why FAO went under. Toys R Us bought FAO, and all of a sudden FAO closes up shop. Toys R Us closes up shop. And I just think over time, when things change hands and leaderships change all the time, things go south. So, but I wanted to share my experience with KEB because I remember, true story, if I didn't find it at Toys R Us and I didn't find it at KEB, I tried finding collections on eBay. And I remember I shared this story before where my brother had taken all of my action figures when I was in the 5th or 6th grade. Everything was gone. I had the entire He-Man collection. I had all the G.I. Joes. I had all the Thundercats. I had Warlord figures. I had Action Jackson. I had everything. And I came home, they were all gone. And I'm talking about, he must have taken out at least 10 garbage bags full of stuff. But he threw it out. He took it so far away, it wasn't in our trash outside. He took it somewhere I'd never find it. Broke my heart. So when eBay came around, I remember going back and trying to re-get all of the things that I lost over the years from my brother at the hands of the demon. And I did. And I remember I purchased, entire series. And I bid on them. Like I'll be on eBay at midnight, at 2 a.m. bidding to get what I wanted. What an experience. I'm glad that sickness is over. I had a problem. I realized that when I was sneaking stuff in. I was like, oh, this has got to stop. But anyway, KB Toys. It was fun while it lasted. I miss you, KB. This was an episode of Crazy Nintendo Less. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. This episode of the Crazy Nintendo Less is sponsored by Forbidden. If you have a story you want me to feature on the Crazy Nintendo Less, hit me up. If you want to sponsor a show, hit me up. Contact us at catchthecraze.com. And we'll talk soon. Don't forget, Forbidden's coming to Indiegogo. Peace.